Greetings, fellow readers. Thanks for being with me again. Today we will be looking at Why Trust Jesus by Dave Sterrett. Let's check it out. I have never heard of Dave Sterrett, which is strangely odd considering how much work he has produced so far in his life. As I read his bio online, he is the founder of a non-profit organization called Disruptive Truth, which disrupts culture with the truth of the gospel. He has earned a degree in biblical studies at Liberty University, earned a Master's of Art in Apologetics from Southern Evangelical Seminary, and a second Master of Arts in Philosophy from the University of Dallas. With his ability to communicate on a popular and scholarly level, his speaking and teaching has landed him at many of America's colleges and universities. Why Trust Jesus has a simple book cover. The title is boldly stated in a Times New Roman font with a large question mark casting a large shadow of a cross. Very straightforward. Sterrett shares in his introduction the big question, can anyone trust anyone anymore? He examines tough questions that can create roadblocks from us trusting Jesus. I, along with probably everyone else, can relate passionately as we have all been betrayed by someone and have had our trust broken to a certain degree. His writing consists of 9 chapters that are almost all separated by exactly 16 pages that tackle the most common challenges people have with trusting Jesus. When there are so many spiritual paths to take, Sterrett explains how Jesus will reveal himself to us when we seek him with all of our heart, soul, and mind. When those are not sure that a supernatural God is real, Sterrett shares the story of how a man named C.S. Lewis converted from atheism to Christianity from his talks with J.R. Tolkien. He also points out the 3 arguments from apologist William Lane Craig of an intelligent designer, a first cause of the universe, and a moral lawgiver. When those of us have been let down so many times, Sterrett reminds us of the stories of John the Baptist, Paul, and Job, and how trusting Jesus did not benefit them the way they were hoping for at first. On the other side of the coin, when life is going fine without Jesus, he shares that true empty feeling all of us can have, even when we have everything, as he reflects on the lives of King Solomon and Moses, who once had it all. When we think the only solution is to trust in ourselves, Sterrett reminds us of our limited knowledge versus Jesus, who is all-knowing. He shares the conflicting differences between pantheism and Christianity. Jesus was the one who designed us and sustains us, and while the world is constantly changing, Jesus does not change. When it comes to the disagreement of the identity of Jesus, this was one of Sterrett's best chapters as he provides solid evidence of Jesus' character and identity. A simple Amazon book search of the name Jesus brought Sterrett 391,201 book results that talk about Jesus, which clearly gives the impression that some of those books will misrepresent and falsely explain the identity of Jesus. He dissects the historical other Gospels that were not in the Bible and how they are false, untruthful information. He bases evidence of the true identity of Jesus by what early non-Christians said about him, personal eyewitness accounts, and the multiple specific and fulfilled prophecies. A great strength in Why Trust Jesus is its smooth, comfortable read, which makes it accessible for most readers to pick up and grasp. With loads of biblical references and reliable sources, which he clearly provides, Sterrett's writing never comes across as being too complex, unclear, or difficult to understand or comprehend. While his work as a whole makes a great case, I believe the last half of Why Trust Jesus, chapters 5 to 9, had the most convincing arguments for readers. Some notable quotes from this book are, "Religious pluralism claims to be open-minded, but is it really? When we stop and think about the claims of religious pluralism, we discover that this worldview doesn't accept any faith expression that is non-pluralistic. Even though pluralism is touted at many universities as open-mindedness, it's actually just another form of religious exclusivity. Why? Because it excludes the beliefs of hundreds of millions of Christians who claim that Jesus Christ is the only way for salvation. When a person trusts in Christ, he or she must understand that Jesus is truth. If Jesus Christ and his teachings are absolutely true, then anything opposed to him is false. Truth is a cornerstone to authentic trust. When Christians stop believing in absolute truth, their worldviews and eventually their lifestyles will both be affected. Aside from the biblical scriptures Sterrett uses, I find that he borrows and uses many quotes, references, sources, and notes. He shares the knowledge of C.S. Lewis, Ravi Zacharias, Martin Luther King, William Lane Craig, J.B. Phillips, Augustine, Eugene Peterson, Deepak Chopra, Ted Cabal, Marianne Williamson, Dan Brown, A.W. Tozer, R.C. Sproul, Mark Driscoll, Josh McDowell, Timothy Keller, Max Lucado, Hank Hanegraaff, and more. I'm not against such a large, diverse collection of brilliant knowledge from brilliant minds, especially on a topic such as this. Many people, including myself, would encourage this when trying to make a case in point. I am, however, a bit turned off from its overusage. I feel that there is too much for a 176-page book. Had this been a 300-plus page book, I would have found it more acceptable. Although that sounds like a petty criticism on my part, the reason is that I really just want to read more of Sterrett's words and his insight, rather than from others. Sterrett has great knowledge, and while I did appreciate what he shares, I felt discontent in that too much writing was covered by other people's words. Overall, Why Trust Jesus surprised me considering I've never heard of Sterrett. He crafts a well-articulated book with very probable reasons why we can and should trust Jesus. Readers will gain a wealth of knowledge and understanding from reading those quotes and sources for the first time. For those that are seeking authentic truth and purpose in their life, readers should find this to be a compelling, worthwhile book to read. I would not be afraid to say in confidence that this book will provide a major influence between whether one chooses to trust Jesus or not. That is an edition of Off Shelf Book Reviews. If you'd like to learn more about Dave Sterrett's nonprofit organization called Disruptive Truth, visit disruptivetruth.com. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time.